The Deep South's oldest rivalry. I'm trying to be totally normal. Everything's going to be totally normal.
You are Locked On College Crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yes, this is a crossover edition of Locked On Auburn and Locked On Bulldogs. He's Clint of Locked On Bulldogs. I'm Zac of Locked On Auburn, and the Deep South's oldest rivalry is just hours away.
Ooh, baby.
Really? I mean, it's more than 24, but not much more than 24 as we sit down to record this. Who wins? The line's super strange. I think there's some mismatches that both teams could take advantage of. We'll get into it all right here. We've talked about it all week, and you and I have texted about it some, Clint, but this line, according to our friends at FanDuel, 3.5, 4.5. And I'm like, okay, here we go. It goes back to 3.5. It's so strange to me. Georgia's side of it is what?
Here's what's weird about this. This line should be 10.5. Just on paper, you look at the teams, you look at the recruiting, you look at the coaching, you look at the history, you look at the current success. 10.5 would feel good, but it doesn't feel good.
Come on, that's a little high.
Okay, what, you want 9? Is 9 new? You don't want the double digits.
Give me 7.5.
Okay.
Give me a hair over a tutty, please.
You want the hook. Okay, that's all right, fine. I'll even agree with that.
Thanks.
This game is weird already. And you talk about the mismatches. Holy geez. If Hugh Freeze has watched any Tennessee tape, I am in for we call a bucket-worthy game where we got a bucket to go ahead and catch all my nerves that are coming out of my body. Because if you get Ellis Robinson on Cam Coleman, oh my gosh, one-on-one, doing anything like that, a stutter go, a slant and go is going to get ugly in a hurry if Jackson Arnold has the time to throw it.
Well, I don't even know if it's a time thing. Georgia's pressure has been weirdly bad this year. That makes no sense at all. Auburn's O-line, to me, isn't about, like, I don't think they're inherently bad as individual players.
No.
But the community, it's been just free rushers. And you've had two guys blocking one where you could have peeled off and blocked another guy. That's where I'm hoping this game being positioned for Auburn after a bye week gives them time to kind of self-diagnose that and fix that. But yeah, I mean, you talk about mismatch. Like, I agree with you. I don't love Georgia's corners in this game.
Jalen Everett is going to be he's going to be fine on that side. Fine. And he better go ahead. I'm hoping that Kirby changes it and has him go with a hot hand on that. But who's the hot hand at Auburn? It could be any one of them that goes for 19.5 per catch in this game.
Yeah, they've kind of had moments. To me, it's not a timing thing for Jackson as far as like in the pocket. It's will he throw the football? Because Cam has had one-on-one, and when Jackson has let it go, I mean, it's Cam Coleman, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
And even Eric Singleton, too. He's been great in one-on-one contested situations on the sideline. We've seen a little bit less of it, but still, they've both been, with what we've seen, they've been unstoppable. It's been Jackson Arnold not giving them that chance. And Hugh Freeze is at the podium begging, like, Jackson, if we could just get Jackson to trust his guys, can that change at this point in the season? That's the question I've been asking all week. It's after a bye week, which maybe they drilled it into his head for 2 weeks, but can you change who you are? That's the big question.
Did I see right? Jackson Arnold's yards per completion is something like 3.9 yards per completion. It's real low. Maybe it was just
too low. That seems really low.
Maybe it was just last game. Maybe
I'm not arguing against it, but that seems low.
It seemed low to me. And looking at who you have at wide receiver, now this is the weird thing for Auburn, and Georgia fans have heard us say this all week long. Kirby said it when he gives his press availability. The secondary's eyes right now are abysmal. Georgia's secondary eyes, if you want to defeat anything, and stop me if you've heard this or seen this, Auburn fan, go in motion and do a couple of pre-snap changes on the formation and watch Georgia's DBs not be able to locate, associate, and stick with their guy. Secondly, crossing routes. The crossing routes have absolutely burned Georgia in the past. So I'm looking at a Hugh Freeze offense. I'm looking at pre-snap motion. I'm looking at guys trying to get open. Even that short stuff is going to go ahead and work. And then this the yards after catch, which, again, Auburn should do fairly well with.
Yeah. Jackson Arnold is 16th among the starters in the SEC at yards per attempt at 6.3. So that might be correct. So if it's per completion.
Right, per completion. Right. I think it's per completion.
So that might be correct.
which is wild to me. Last in the SEC.
crazy. Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's weird for us because Georgia fans are feeling good about this game because downfield threat, those stats indicate Auburn doesn't have a downfield threat offense, which, okay, maybe, but it's there. It's Hugh Freeze and it's 2 all-world wide receivers. The threat is always
strange. I mean, the whole construction of the offense on paper looks like everything you want.
Correct.
But it just hasn't worked outside of them running the football. And they did it against Baylor because Baylor played 2 safeties back for some reason the entire game, begged them to run it. And they did. That was the correct read. And then Clint, since that, they just haven't done that. That's just not what they've done. And a lot of that is because I kind of assume when we got into SEC play, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm like, I want to see Jackson with his arm. And that's what we've seen. I mean, I can't imagine what Kirby's about to throw to him. Like, that's going to be, I just got a feeling he's going to be able to do some stuff where, like, if you drop guys back and then sometimes you're sending them, like I'm showing pressure every snap and then dropping different guys. Like, that's how I would defend Jackson Arnold right now.
It's exactly right, because we've seen him be able to use his legs pretty well, but he relies on it far too much, as indication by all the film and everything else, and his head coach begging him to throw it. If I'm Glenn Schumann, it's really weird. Auburn presents us something different than what we've seen, but at the same time, something similar to what we've seen. Tennessee's close-ish, but not exactly Josh Heupel's system. What's weird is Alabama, we decided to bring pressure and then back off. We started covering everybody, dropping everybody back, sending 4. We couldn't get home with 4. Now, that's a really, really good offensive line in Alabama. I said before the season, I think Alabama wins the SEC championship. I still think they do because that's a really good offensive line. I think in this case, Jackson is not Ty Simpson. I think Glenn and Kirby do dial up the pressure. And we've heard it this week from a couple other people. Justin Williams looks to be getting some run at inside backer, which would mean Chris Cole and a couple other guys are probably coming off the edge, outside backer, lurking out there, which is maybe where they're more naturally indicated to be. And if that's the case, I'm real happy. I'd rather have Justin Williams in the middle at inside backer and have other guys screaming off the edge, or an A-gap blitz with CJ Allen would bring me great joy.
So what's the matchup in this game you're most concerned about, would you say?
It's Cam Coleman against Ellis Robinson. Robinson, all-world corner talent-wise, 5.
That's just not what I expected you to say. I'm being honest with you. Like, I get it, but that's not the one I thought you were gonna say.
Well, it's really weird to me because our offensive line last week, 5 starters came in. We lost both starting tackles, and I actually think that this 5 that we rolled with last game is the most cohesive 5. You said it before.
So you think this O-line is better than what you've had earlier in the year?
Far better. Ernest Green, ain't it? Just ain't it. We saw him absolutely get crushed. Monroe Freeling has shown
he was a tackle, correct?
He was tackle, yeah. Right tackle, left tackle. Monroe Freeling, left tackle. Ernest Green, right tackle. Monroe Freeling doing okay. He got injured last week. He's probable to play this week. Ernest Green's been dealing with a nagging injury all season long. However, when we got Glover in, Micah Morris, as well as Juan Gaston and Bobo, those were the 4 that we rolled with on the left to right, and it was glorious. It was fantastic. They were getting downhill. Talk about a run game, 5.5 yards per carry for Chauncey Bowens for the whole season, 7.5 in previous games, over 90 yards better than last year right now. So I know Auburn has talented defensive line, which is crazy. People are telling me Auburn doesn't have a talented defense. I'm like, you have no clue what you're talking about. There are talent.
Auburn's defense is, the stats don't look great because of yardage because they're on the field the whole game. But Auburn's defense is one of the best in the SEC.
I really respect Auburn's defense, especially that defensive line. Like, dudes come to Auburn to play defensive line. It's incredible to me. But our defense against the wide receivers, if they can't tackle, and we've seen missed tackles, we've seen.
Hold on, Clint, if you don't mind, I want to stay. I want to stay in the trenches just for a second. I can't wait to see what DJ Durkin does as far as moving those defensive linemen around, though, because there are questions about the left guard. Is it the left guard or the right guard where there's more questions about?
So Micah Morris has been injured. It's probably right guard that you're talking about. Right guard is a true freshman, 18-year-old kid who's coming in there, and it's a new system.
I'm scooting Keldrick Falk on 3rd and 7s, 3rd downs. I'm scooting Keldrick Falk in front of him, and I'm just seeing what happens. That's what I'm doing.
And this is wild to me because people at Georgia are hating on Cash Jones right now. Cash Jones is a vital aspect of this offense for one reason.
Your name can't be Cash Jones and be bad, right?
He's money, man. We call it third down, money down, because Cash Jones comes in. He's incredible at receiving and chip blocking, and he is the blitz pickup guy. And he's a slider frame dude, but you able to go ahead and let him get the inside or outside leverage on a defensive lineman, and you put Glover on that, it works really, really well. I think you're right. And I think Kirby and Bobo know that. They're going to go ahead and put Cash and say, hey, wherever that man goes, stay right on him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy you game plan around. There's no question. All right, let's pivot to talking about the receivers, Auburn's receivers versus Georgia's DBs, as well as this weird line. And then, of course, who wins this thing? That's next, right here on this crossover edition of Locked on Auburn and Locked on Bulldogs. Today's show brought to you by our friends at DoorDash. Clint, you love DoorDash.
I do.
I love DoorDash. It's almost the weekend. It's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streak, saving more every time you order. These players deliver when it matters most. Let's break it down. On the Auburn side of it, Clint, I'm going to go with Jeremiah Cobb, Auburn's running back. He was kind of expected to be RB2. Damari Austin misses some time. Jeremiah Cobb has taken that RB1 role. He's been great. He just hasn't been given the ball a ton because of whether it's reads or play calling. That's kind of the ongoing debate. But Jeremiah Cobb has certainly delivered for Auburn this season. Give me a Georgia guy.
It's Chauncey Bowens. He's the absolute heartbeat of this offense, running the ball, Kirby Smart said before the season, and he keeps on delivering time and time again.
And so just like these guys deliver for their teams, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You save every Saturday you order, stack it up all season long, and you could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. You don't want to leave during games. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through November 18th. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. We've been talking about it all week on both shows. The line 3.5. They're begging you to take Georgia. And if you're saying, you know what, FanDuel, I'm going to. If it's your if it is your first time, you're a new customer, you can just put $5 down and you get $300 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet hits. You talk about a return on investment, Clint. Goodness gracious. You can't beat that. You can't beat that at all. No. Yeah, pick a bet, put $5 down. If it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Zac Blackerby, Clint Shamblin, Locked on Auburn, Locked on Bulldogs, crossover. Let's pivot back to, I rudely interrupted you.
Yeah, you did.
When you were talking about the Georgia defensive backs defending the Auburn wide receivers. I think that's where you were going before I just interrupted you.
Yeah, well, I was about to tell you, if I am Auburn fan, why I'm excited about this matchup, because the DBs for Georgia have been toast all season long. Heck, DeMello Jones has finally showed up and showed a heartbeat at corner opposite Dalen Everett, and it hasn't been Ellis Robinson. It hasn't been Daniel Green. It hasn't been any of those guys out there, Daniel Harris. It's been DeMello Jones, a guy buried on the depth chart who comes out and just plays hard-nosed football. So, yeah. It's interesting to me, and a whole bunch of safeties. Now, this Georgia has one of the youngest defenses by age and snap counts in the SEC. I think it's like the third youngest. We are inexperienced back there. Eyes are bad. Assignment is bad. Going ahead and making a call with the safety, who's got inside, who's got outside, who's bracketing, all of that is just lost so far. So I anticipate a new safety rotation being for this game. We saw a couple more guys. Maddox, the transfer who's in, he showed a heartbeat last game. DeMello Jones as well. Janelle Grove's been okay at star. But, man, I'm nervous because tackling hasn't been great either. And so give a little screen game on the outside, a little 2-on-1, and have the safety go over the top. Auburn fans should be excited because Georgia's not shown they can shut down a passing attack.
Just for context here, we said the exact same thing going into Auburn's battle against Texas A&M, and it was correct. They could not cover Cam Coleman. That dude, if it was an incompletion on the outside, it's because it drew a pass interference. Like, that guy freshman could not cover Cam Coleman. The issue, though, is, like, if he's not, like, super wide open, like, Jackson's not throwing it. And he hasn't, turnovers have been much better for Auburn, and the lack of turnovers and the really good defense has allowed us to stay in all these games, even though there's been, like, virtually no offense. But at some point, it's just like, if you want to win, you've got to let these guys loose. You have to
take a chance.
Once again, does that happen after this bye week? Gosh, I hope so. I really, really hope so. And look, I mean, some of this is just intangible stuff. Like we can talk about the roster, but Jordan-Hare Stadium is always electric. But the buzz of the Cam Newton retirement thing, to act like that doesn't play a factor in this, I think would be silly.
I mean, you and I, we have somebody that's on Locked On with us, and it says the voodoo of Jordan-Hare is not a thing. I'm here to tell you, it is real, and I am terrified every single year. I still have images of Jake Fromm completing 3 of 12 passes in that stupid stadium. Like, it is terrifying. I think this is what Georgia's game plan is. I think Kirby knows this. It's going to be Kentucky last year, but at Auburn this year. It's going to be, let me run the ball. I'm okay with a 1-point victory. Kirby says, I don't care if it's 12-13. I don't care if it's 5-3. I don't care. Give me a victory. Yeah. Let's take the air out of the stadium with a 12-play, 7.5-minute drive for even a field goal. But Kirby's going to be happy with that. I promise you. I guarantee you that's going to be part of the game plan this week.
FanDuel's begging people to bet on Georgia.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Because you're right, on paper, like this should be more lopsided than 3.5.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire week, I kept expecting it to get large, and it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. This is the first time that I can remember, maybe 2017, maybe, where Auburn, from a roster standpoint, has been close to Georgia. Now, quarterback and, offensive ability, I think, changes some things. Obviously, that's important. I'm not downplaying that. But roster-wise, this is the closest Auburn has been to Georgia, I think, since 2017. We could go back farther. And, does that play into it? I'm not sure. Is it just because it's at home? Is it because of the Cam stuff and then Jordan-Hare Stadium is going to be crazy? Are there injuries we don't know about? It seems strange to me, Clint. I'm not lying to you. It seems strange to me.
It should seem strange. I think there's twofold I can say from Georgia's perspective. One, an inexperienced young offensive line, 2 18-year-old kids on the right side on the road in what I will consider, and yes, again, the hardest stadium in the SEC to play in, maybe the nation, and especially for Georgia. That is a huge, huge thing. We saw at Tennessee, Gunnar Stockton played out of his mind, but he was getting hit a lot. It was on his decision-making that we won that game and getting the ball out quickly. So I think that plays into it. The second thing, I think the DBs against the talent of the wide receivers, it's a little lopsided in Auburn's favor right now. If guys played assignments, a little different. So those two are big. But this to me comes down to Gunnar Stockton, and I think people are still downplaying him. He's second in the nation in QBR. He has better stats than Carson Beck. It is. He has better stats.
I think Gunnar Stockton is underrated. I agree, but don't use QBR. QBR is not real.
He is one of the better quarterbacks, especially when you compare him to Carson Beck last year at Georgia and even this year. He's neck and neck with him and even better in some categories, especially rushing and rushing touchdowns. So sure. I think people are still downplaying that. I really think, not to be like cliche storytelling, CJ Allen is a really experienced linebacker. Jackson Arnold, if he sticks to the outside, is going to be fine. He comes in the middle. CJ Allen will bait him into a throw. He nearly did it to Joey at Tennessee, and he dropped the interception. And CJ Allen is living to trap him to an interception, and things like that are going to switch this game. One possession, one turnover could be the deciding factor in this game for me.
Clint, I think you just skimmed over real quick a major flex, and I'm not going to let you get away with. You just calling Joey Aguilar Joey? Are you on a first-name basis with him?
Look, here, that dude, he won my respect. Honestly, that game against Georgia, I went, you know what, Josh Heupel, I'm going to stop.
Kind of made fun of Tennessee for getting him. He's been solid.
He's been incredible.
Yeah.
I still count him in the top 4, top 3 maybe quarterbacks in the SEC. He's been incredible. Go ahead.
I don't know if I can get there, but he's been good for sure. He's exceeded my expectations for sure. For sure. My pick is 17-14 Georgia. I think this is very low scoring.
Yes, people that are trying to say this game is going to get out of hand crazy. I'm like, I can't see that because I think Georgia's going to want to suck the air out of the stadium and the clock. So to that alone, I'm going to go 20-17.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
2017 Georgia is my prediction in this game.
Yeah, so we're pretty close there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if it was 13-10. I think this is going to be an ugly, ugly game where both defenses kind of have their moments, and it's going to take 1 or 2 drives that are really going to say, yep, that was it. That was it. So
completely agree.
For all the Auburn folks tuning in, how can they check out everything you've got going on?
By the way, Auburn fan, we love you guys. You guys are the best because when you come hate on us, like you guys bring your A game of hate. It is real and it is great. At Dogs Podcast over on X, come follow us. You guys are great over there. And then go over, check out our stuff. We're going to be overreaction after the game. And Auburn, if you win, come watch us cry and you will mock us.
Well, watch my live show first.
Yes.
Theirs.
And then come over here and watch us and you just get after it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and vice versa. Of course, wherever you watch Locked On Bulldogs, you can find Locked On Auburn. We'll be live afterwards too. So please like our shows. Please subscribe to our shows, and we'll see you next time. This has been a crossover edition of Locked On Auburn and Locked On Bulldogs.